to the entertaining Talkin' Sports.
What is going on, football fans? Back at it with another New York Giants video. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of drafting an Andrew Thomas or a Chase Young out of Ohio State. Now, the reason I'm making this video, well, my subscribers usually give me the best ideas for my videos. I always say that. And in this video, I wanted to give a quick shout out. Yesterday, I had posted my community notes that Andrew Thomas had officially declared for the NFL draft. And NYG Mike gave me a great idea for a video, and it seemed to get a lot of thumbs up, and people seemed as if they thought it was a good video idea. He said, hey, Chris, when do you think you can have a video out about the pros and the cons of drafting Thomas and Young? I thought it was a really good idea for a video, so, Mike, thank you for the recommendation. And here we go. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons of drafting Chase Young and Andrew Thomas. Now, we don't know where we're going to be picking yet. Of course, if the Giants win their last two games, they could be picking outside of the top five potentially. And if they are, they more than likely will not end up with either one of these players. Andrew Thomas, by most all accounts, is one of the most highly graded offensive tackles to come out of college in a very long time. And we'll get into the numbers in a second. And Chase Young is a generational pass rusher. I don't think there's many cons if you end up with either one of these guys. Both of these guys are in positions of extreme importance on any football team, especially the New York Giants. We'll start with Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas, a left tackle coming out of Georgia, is one of the highest graded guys, and I'll get into the notes in a second. But for a young quarterback, like a Daniel Jones, it is imperative to have blindside protection, something the New York Giants have not had in forever with Eli Manning. A left tackle is a quarterback's best friend outside of, a dominant wide receiver, things like that. But you definitely need a strong offensive line, and they definitely need to get younger and to get a top-tier left tackle. Most good teams in the NFL have a very good offensive line, and specifically at that position. You need to be able to protect your quarterback, and if you want Daniel Jones to stay healthy and upright for the majority of his career, you are going to need a left tackle to go along with him. I personally think that Andrew Thomas may even be the safer pick. Andrew Thomas, let's take a look at some of these numbers that people say about Andrew Thomas. There is the big left tackle out of Georgia. And here is what they had to say about him on CBSSports.com. Thomas's 93.1 overall grade is the highest among draft-eligible Power 5 offensive linemen. If it holds up, it will be the highest grade we've seen from a tackle prospect since 2015. He's faced no slouches either. In terms of pass rushers, he shut down the talented duos from both Notre Dame and Florida. So, there you have it. I mean, if that grade were to hold through the college playoffs, which he's no longer going to play in, he is the highest graded offensive tackle to come out of college since 2015. There's a reason he's being mocked as high as he is. Now, some people say he needs to work on his footwork, but that's common of a lot of offensive linemen coming out out of college. Now, a lot of people are going to be hesitant because we had a big bust when we took him early in Eric Flowers, and I get it. But at the end of the day, the Giants need to get young, and they need to get talented players there. So they're going to have to take an offensive tackle sooner or later early in one of these drafts. It's something that we've neglected for drafts since Eric Flowers and before Eric Flowers to take guys early in the draft. Now, you could certainly make an argument. The con to taking an Andrew Thomas over a player like a Chase Young or a pass rusher in general, you can make an argument that it's probably more likely that you find a top-tier talent in the second or third round at the tackle position than the edge rusher. And it's very rare that you have an opportunity to take a generational pass rusher. So that is going to bring me now to Chase Young. Chase Young, by all accounts, since he's come into college, before he came into college, was going to be a top-tier talent. And I'll show you real quick what his high school rank was coming out of high school. When he was coming out of high school, he was a 5-star recruit. He was 7th nationally, not just at his position, but overall. So this guy has always been thought to be a stud. It's not like he came out of nowhere. This guy was always thought to be a future potential superstar at the NFL level. And yeah, of course, reports have come out that he may not come out. He's coming out. He's not going to pass up $30 million in guaranteed money. In my opinion, now you can make an argument that you're going to get more longevity out of a strong offensive tackle, and you could certainly make an argument with a young quarterback, it is more important to have a strong left tackle. I completely get that side of the argument. I would take Chase Young. I think it's an extremely safe pick. This guy, look at all the top-tier pass rushers that have come out of the drafts in recent years, and look at what they've done for their defenses. We'll start this year. Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa's on pace to win Rookie of the Year. The second defensive end pass rusher that was drafted in this year's draft, Josh Allen. He's neck and neck with Bosa. Both of them have right around 10 sacks. Both of them have had immediate impacts on their teams. You could I don't even think it's debatable. I think Chase Young would have more of an immediate impact on the New York Giants. Now, you could argue longevity could be in the favor of an Andrew Thomas, but in terms of an immediate impact, Chase Young, I think, would make the New York Giants team better day one, and he would make that defense better around him. You also could argue that you may be able to get a offensive lineman a top-tier offensive lineman in free agency. Now, you may not. Jack Conklin may hit the open market, but Jack Conklin is coming off an ACL tear, and you could certainly make an argument that maybe there's a higher probability of getting a strong pass rusher. I think that is the strongest argument for not taking Chase Young over Andrew Thomas. I think you could probably find a good pass rusher in free agency easier than you would find an offensive tackle. The Giants have gone that route, and they missed Nate Solder big time, and he was the top offensive tackle in his class. It is very rare that teams let top offensive linemen hit the open market because they know how vital they are to their teams, especially a left tackle. You could look at a number of cases where edge rushers do hit the open market, and they are successful with teams that they go to. So you could certainly make that argument. But in terms of top-tier pass rushers, once they get to the NFL, like I said, you look at this draft, you had Bosa, you had Allen. The year before, you had Bradley Chubb, who's been very good with the Broncos. The year before that, you had Myles Garrett. The year before that, you had Joey Bosa. Those are all the guys that were the top defensive end in their draft, and all of them, at this point in time, you could argue are top 10 or 15 pass rushers in the NFL. So I think it's incredibly safe to think that Chase Young will be a Pro Bowl level talent at the NFL. It's not like a quarterback where it could go either way. No. Chase Young, to me, is going to be a very, very good pro, if not great pro, at the NFL level. We're talking about a guy who potentially could be the next Michael Strahan for this football team. So Chase Young will make more of an immediate impact. You can make the argument that you could find a good edge rusher in free agency. Now, which guys will hit the market? I don't know. Will Ngakoue hit the market? Will Clowney hit the market? I don't know. But there are probably guys, it's probably more likely that you could find a good pass rusher in free agency than you can on the offensive line, specifically at the tackle position. You could certainly find a good center, and that would be my argument. But I would lean Chase Young, but I see points to both. I think that Andrew Thomas would be an answer for the next 10 to 15 years. Chase Young would be more of an immediate impact. I think you could argue that Andrew Thomas plays a more important position, especially for a young quarterback. We need to improve that offensive line. That is vital in this year's draft. But I do think that maybe you could find a very good offensive tackle, similar to what they did in 2 years ago when they went out there and they found Hernandez in the second round. You could probably find a strong offensive tackle in the second and even third round of this year's draft. You're not going to find an elite edge rusher like you do Chase Young. Like I said, those 5 guys are probably all top 10, 15 edge rushers in the sport. You can make an argument in terms of talent before Myles Garrett bashed somebody over the head. Myles Garrett might be the most talented edge rusher. You can make an argument that Nick Bosa has displayed that he has the potential to be the best edge rusher. Joey Bosa is certainly one of. Josh Allen, 10 sacks in his rookie year, could be one of the best. It's the reason I really like that guy. So all those guys have top 5 potential, and they've just been in the league for 2 or 3 years. So that is why I don't think you could pass up on Chase Young. That is why I think he will be a difference maker at the NFL level. But I want to say thank you for the question. I think it was a great question, and I'd be happy with either one of these guys come draft night if they end up on the New York Giants. I think both are areas of importance. Both are areas of need for the New York Giants. You could argue those are the 2 biggest spots we need improvement. Yes, we've been able to get after the quarterback, but it's been by blitzing. You get a guy like Chase Young on your roster, he's going to command respect. He's going to command double teams. That's going to make Leonard Williams' job that much easier. That's going to make everybody on that defensive line's job that much easier. So that's my take on it. I would lean Chase Young, but I would be thrilled if we get either one of these guys come April. As always, if you liked what you watched, please subscribe, drop a comment, maybe give me a little thumbs up. Cheers.